Now we shall start with the next type of problem where we are going to use sin A plus B formula and cos A plus B formula. Let's have a look at this. Y is equal to sine inverse sin x plus cos x whole divided by root 2. So what I can write this is sine inverse 1 by root 2. I'll write sin x first. Sin x into 1 by root 2 plus cos x into 1 by root 2. What did I do? I separated it. Now this is of the form sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So it became sin inverse sin x into cos pi by 4. I want to make it cos pi by 4 plus cos x into sin pi by 4. So this is perfectly formed as sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So I can write sine inverse of, I'll just write the formula once for you to understand. It is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. And you know that this is sine of A plus B. So I can write here as sine of A is first angle, B is second angle. So sine inverse sine get cancelled. So x plus pi by 4. Now I can differentiate this with respect to x. When you differentiate derivative of x plus derivative of pi by 4, which gives you 1 plus 0 and gives you 1 as the answer. So this is one method of finding the derivative of y is equal to cos inverse root 3 cos x minus 2 sin x minus sin x upon 2. This I can write it as cos inverse root 3 by 2 cos x minus 1 by 2 sin x. Now this I can make it into the formula cos A cos B minus sin A sin B, which is a formula for cos of A plus B. So to make it into this formula, I will write this as cos inverse of root 3 by 2 is cos 30 degrees into cos x minus sin pi by 6 into sin x. So that becomes cos inverse of cos A cos B minus sin A sin B is cos of A is pi by 6, B is x. Again, cos inverse cos get cancelled and this becomes pi by 6 plus x. Hence, the derivative becomes 0 plus 1. This is how you can do it. Now, every time we were getting perfect numbers here, which would give you perfect angle. Let's have a look at a problem where the number may not be perfect, where there's no special angle as such. So in that case, what should I do? Let's say it is cos of 5 sin x. Okay, I'll put it sin. Sin of 4 sin x plus 3 cos x divided by 5. Now, there's a speciality about these numbers that I'm writing here. It is not that any number I can put here. Here, this two number can be any, but the denominator got to be, suppose I have here A sin x plus B cos x, then denominator got to be root of A square plus B square. Then only this method can be applied. Otherwise, this method cannot be applied. 4 square plus 3 square is 25. Root of 25 is 5. If it is in this format, then only we can apply this method. So you'll ask me if it is not in that format, what to do? Then you have to use the sin inverse u formula and get the answer. You have to apply sin inverse u and get the answer. So this will be sin inverse 4 by 5 sin x plus 3 by 5 cos x. So decide what formula you want to convert. Outside is sin inverse. So we prefer to have sin A plus B's formula, sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. And I'm happy to have these numbers because they are sides of a right angle triangle. A, B and root of A square plus B square are sides of a right angle triangle. I want this to be cos. So I'll take this as 4, this as 3 and this as 5 and I'll call this angle as alpha. So I have adjusted the side such a way and selected the angle such a way Cos alpha will be 4 by 5 because I wanted here cos. Sin A, cos B plus cos A, sin B. And you can see here cos alpha is 4 by 5 and sin alpha is 3 by 5. So I can write this as sine inverse 4 by 5 cos alpha. Let me take cos sin x first. Sin x into cos alpha plus cos x into sin alpha. I will take it in order so that sin cos, cos sin, sin inverse of sine of x plus alpha. That is x plus alpha. Remember, what does alpha stands for? You can write here tan alpha is 3 by 4. Alpha is tan inverse 3 by 4. What I want to show you is alpha is a constant. So alpha is a constant. So x plus tan inverse of 3 by 4. Now you'll ask me why tan inverse? Usually we express angle in tan inverse. That's the reason. Anyhow, that doesn't matter to us. When I differentiate, dy by dx will be derivative of x will be 0. Sorry, derivative of x will be 1. And derivative of tan inverse 3 by 4 will be 0. So answer is 1. Do not write here tan inverse u formula. There is no x term here. It's a constant term. So its derivative is 0. Usually students will write 1 upon 1 plus 3 by 4 the whole square like this into 0 or something they may write. But these are all wrong. You should not write that way. Directly derivative of tan inverse 3 by 4 should be 0. Do not apply any formula on tan inverse 3 by 4. Now we shall take problems based on tan inverse. We saw 1 or 2 questions of tan inverse. Now we'll see a lot of questions on tan inverse, how to handle it. In tan inverse, we have one set of questions using this formula. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sine square theta by 2. From where do you get this formula? We know that cos 2 theta is 2 cos square theta minus 1. So if you bring 1 to left hand side, 2 cos square theta is 1 plus cos 2 theta. What happens to the angle here, 2 theta? It becomes half. That's how 1 plus cos theta became 2 cos square theta by 2. Same way we have another formula, cos 2 theta is 1 minus 2 sine square theta. From that we get this formula. So these two formulas you need to remember. And we also need to note one more formula, that is well-known formula. Sine theta can be written as 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. From where do you get this? From sine 2 theta's formula, 2 sine theta cos theta. So what you notice here, theta is the angle, so it will be double the angle. So when theta by 2 the angle, double of theta by 2 is theta. So these are the formulae that I'm going to use. Let's say y is equal to tan inverse of sin x upon 1 plus cos x. Sin x upon 1 plus cos x. So I can write this. Outside is tan inverse. We need to bring tan inside it. So tan inverse of, so the inner function should become tan. So 2 sine x by 2 cos x by 2. From where do I get that sin x formula? Here, sin x is 2 sine x by 2 cos x by 2. And 1 plus cos x we saw, 1 plus cos x is 2 cos square x by 2. So now there is a lot of cancellation here. 2 can be cancelled, cos can be cancelled. So what you get is tan inverse of tan x by 2. Tan inverse of tan x by 2. So now we can differentiate it. So you get x by 2. So the derivative of this will be 1 by 2 outside, derivative of x. Hence your answer will become 1 by 2 into 1, that is 1 by 2. Now if it is, this is next problem, let's have a look at the next one. If it is tan inverse 1 plus sin x upon cos x, can we apply the same technique? I have formula for 1 plus sin theta. 1 plus sin theta's formula is cos theta by 2 plus sin theta by 2, the whole square. And 1 minus is, of course, the denominator, you will become middle sign minus. But I am not going to use that formula. I can use that formula also, but I am avoiding that formula. Instead, I want to reduce the number of formula that we need to remember. So 1 plus sin x I will convert into cos, and cos I can convert into sine. So when I convert one angle to cos, all the angles should be the same. That is one important thing to note. Whenever you convert this x to pi by 2 minus x, don't keep this again as x. This also should be converted to pi by 2 minus x. If the angles are not same, simplification is not possible. So we'll make the angles same. Now tan inverse of 1 minus cos theta, 2 cos square angle by 2. Theta means angle. Theta by 2 means angle by 2. Pi by 2 minus x by 2. divided by sine theta. What is sine theta? 2 sine theta by 2, angle by 2, pi by 2 minus x by 2 into cos pi by 2 minus x by 2. So we can apply the same formula that we did in the previous problem. So it becomes a little more easier to remember. So we can cancel it off and we get tan inverse of not tan, you get tan inverse of cot. But does not matter, don't worry about that. Pi by 2 minus x. So pi by 2 upon 2 becomes pi by 4 and I make it x by 2. I hope you understood that. Pi by 2 divided by 2 is pi by 4. X divided by 2 is x by 2. X by 2. Okay, now tan inverse cot cannot be cancelled. So what you do when a tan inverse cot comes, you can convert a cot to tan by putting a pi by 2 minus theta. Theta is this much. So pi by 4 minus x by 2. Now tan inverse tan will get cancelled. So you are left with pi by 2 minus pi by 4 plus x by 2. Minus of minus, plus, plus. Now the derivative will take. So dy by dx will be 0, 0 and 1 by 2. So your answer is 1 by 2. This way we can simplify if 1 plus sine comes. So remember, when 1 plus sine and 1 plus cos come, both cases use the same formula so that your calculation will be faster in it. So sometimes they will give you, instead of giving in this manner, they may give the problem as tan inverse of sec x plus tan x. Remember, sec x is 1 by cos, sin x by cos x is tan x. So they both are same problem. So don't get confused. Just convert them to sin and cos, apply the same technique. They can give you minus sign here also. The method does not change. The same method you need to apply. So whether it is plus or sinus, both are of the same category. So I'm doing only one problem of that category. But in this problem, it is easier for us to apply 1 plus sine theta's formula is cos theta by 2 plus sine theta by 2 the whole square. And 1 minus sine theta's formula, cos theta by 2 minus sine theta by 2 the whole square. So if you come across like this problem, it is easier to apply this, but it is up to you. Even you can convert this into cos into the problem, that's still right. But if you apply this, a little more faster here. So it becomes tan inverse of, because square root is there, that's why I went for the perfect square formula. So it becomes cos theta plus sine theta the whole square, whole under the root, minus root of cos theta minus sine theta the whole square, divided by root of cos, not theta, it is x. Cos x, because the question here is in x. So cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2 the whole square, plus root of cos x by 2 minus sin x by 2 the whole square. Now the square root and square will get cancelled. Square root and square will get cancelled. Square root and square got cancelled. Square root and square got cancelled. Square root and square is cancelled. We are assuming that these are all positive numbers. That's why we can cancel square root and square. Otherwise we cannot. Then after that you will notice that this cos x by 2 and this cos x by 2 will get cancelled. This sin x by 2 and this sin x by 2 will get cancelled. So you are left with only tan inverse. This is not cancelled, this is not cancelled, they get added. Those 2 sin x by 2 divided by 2 cos x by 2. So we get tan inverse of tan x by 2, which turns to be x by 2. So when you differentiate, your answer turns to be 1 by 2. So this is a method that you can apply when 1 plus sin x and 1 minus sin x. It's up to you. Even if you write cos, change it into cos and apply the previous problem, then also you can do the problem. But this is an easier method. We are going to discuss 2 important formulas of tan inverse. One formula is tan inverse of a plus b upon 1 minus ab. Another formula is tan inverse of a minus b upon 1 plus ab. Suppose I replace a by tan a and b by tan b. What this will become? Tan a plus tan b upon 1 minus tan ab. That would become tan inverse of tan a plus b. It would be the expansion of tan A plus B if I replace A by tan A and B by tan B. Tan inverse and tan will get cancelled. You will be left with A plus B. And A is nothing but tan inverse A. And B is nothing but tan inverse B. Anyhow, the detailed formulae will be taught to you in the chapter known as inverse trigonometric function. It's a separate chapter. There are conditions on this also. But as far as functions are concerned, we need to use this formula everywhere. Same way, here this will become tan of A minus B's formula. So that will turn to tan inverse of A minus tan inverse of B. Now, as far as derivative is concerned, if you look at this formula, which will be easier to differentiate, whether this term or this term? Naturally, this will be easy to differentiate because here you may have to apply U by V method, UV method, etc. So it will become complicated in applying this directly. Whereas if you apply this, it will be easy to do. Another point to remember, whenever I want to apply this formula, the sign should be opposite. So I'm telling you, this is the most important. How will you recognize that can we apply this formula or not? First point, you should be able to arrange it such a way that they are opposite sign. Second condition that you must remember is, here like quadratic equation, sum here and product here. You should be able to divide the terms such a way that the numerator is sum and denominator second term is product. Suppose I give you tan inverse of 5x upon 1 minus 6x square. I want to find the derivative. If I'm applying directly tan inverse u formula 1 upon 1 plus u square formula derivative of u, it will become very difficult for me to calculate. But I can rearrange this way. Tan inverse of 5x 6x square. 5 is a sum of 2 and 3. 6 is a product of 2 and 3. So I can write, let's say 3x plus 2x, that give you 5x. 1 minus 3x into 2x. So what have you noticed? Are they opposite sign? Yes. Sum of this and product of this, are they tallying? Yes. Then you can write this as tan inverse of the first number, tan inverse of 3x, plus tan inverse of the second number. From where did you get this? Using this formula. Now tell me, is this easy to differentiate? Yes, very, very easy to differentiate. So dy by dx will be derivative of tan inverse 3x plus derivative of tan inverse 2x, because you convert them into plus sign. If you convert them into plus sign, then it's very easy to differentiate. So your answer became 1 upon 1 plus 3x the whole square into derivative of 3x. Into derivative of 3x. Plus 1 upon 1 plus 2x the whole square into derivative of 2x. So naturally this will become 3 upon, I'll write it over here, 3 upon 1 plus 9x square plus 2 upon 1 plus 4x square. So that becomes my answer. So whenever we come across tan inverse outside, first you will have to ask this question. Can I split this as sum and this as a product? Sometimes if it is plus sign here, it can be difference. It should be difference. So we will see if it is difference, how will you go about? So if the question is of this kind, let's say tan inverse of x upon 1 plus 12x square. Tan inverse x upon 1 plus 12x square. What are the factors of 12? Either 6 and 2 or 4 and 3. But if you take 4 and 3, you will notice that 4 minus 3 is 1. So I can write this function as tan inverse 4x minus 3x upon 1 plus 4x into 3x. It's similar to quadratic equation. The difference, when you get sum here, the numerator should be difference. When you get minus here, the numerator should be sum, which can be written as tan inverse 4x minus tan inverse 3x. Now we can differentiate this and write your answer. I'm directly writing derivative of tan inverse 4x, 1 upon 1 plus 4x the whole square, so 16x square into derivative of 4x, that become 4. 1 upon 1 plus 3x the whole square, that is 9x square, into derivative of 3x, that will become 3, and that becomes my final answer. So you are able to simplify directly, then get the answer. That's the benefit of this problem. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to divide numerator and denominator by b. What do you mean by divide numerator and denominator by b? Divide every term by b. So did you understand why I should divide by b? if first term I need 1, so whatever in place of 1, divide by that term. Then only I can get 1 there. Now this is tan inverse of a by b plus x upon 1 minus a by b into x. So it is satisfying the condition of the formula. So since it is satisfying the condition of formula, I can write this as tan inverse of a by b plus tan inverse of x. Now we can differentiate this. So derivative of this. Do not write tan inverse u formula here. There's no x term here. Differentiating with respect to x. There's no x term here. So derivative will be 0 and 1 upon 1 plus x squared. Every time, students, if alphabets are given here, you apply the derivative formula of tan inverse. That is wrong. When you need to check whether you have x term in it or not. If you do not have an x term in it because you're differentiating with respect to x, then this would be a constant. That's why the derivative has become 0. Now let's have a look at this interesting problem. You can see tan inverse 3x plus 1 upon 4x squared plus 11x plus 7. So what I'm going to do here is, I need 1 as the denominator first term. So I will split this 4x squared plus 11x plus 7. I need a 1. So 4x squared plus 11x plus 6. First of all, I made it into the form 1 plus. Now I have to make it into the form a into b. I want to make it into a product. 6 fours are 24. And you know 8 into 3 is 24. 8 plus 3 is 11. So 1 plus 4x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 6. So I can write this as 1 plus 4x common, x plus 2 plus 3 common, x plus 2. So that became 1 plus 4x plus 3 into x plus 2. And you will notice that their difference, 4x minus x is 3x and 3 minus 2 is 1. It will perfectly match. If it is not perfectly matched, you cannot do by this method. So it will match. So we will be writing this as tan inverse of numerator become 4x plus 3 minus x plus 2. And denominator became 1 plus 4x plus 3 into x plus 2. From where did you get this idea? From what we have just calculated above. So from this part, we are able to justify. They are all equal. So instead of this, I have replaced this. And their difference is your 3x plus 1. Now we can write this as tan inverse 4x plus 3 minus tan inverse x plus 2 by our formula. Tan inverse a minus b upon 1 plus ab is tan inverse a minus tan inverse b. Every time when you apply the formula, you need to write the formula. So you need to write the way I give you in PDF. So here is only explanation. So don't write exactly the way I'm writing on the board now. You have to look at the PDF solutions which I give you and you need to follow. Here is the explanation. My board is small. I cannot keep on writing all the terms here. So when I differentiate this with respect to x, d by dx of tan inverse of 4x plus 3 minus d by dx of tan inverse of x plus 2. So when I differentiate this, 1 upon 1 plus 4x plus 3 the whole square into d by dx of 4x plus 3 minus 1 upon 1 plus x plus 2 the whole square into d by dx of x plus 2. So my answer became 4x plus 3's derivative is 4 divided by 1 plus 4x plus 3 the whole square minus 1 upon derivative of x plus 2 is 1. So 1 upon 1 plus x plus 2 the whole square. Now you need to check with your book whether you need to expand or not to expand. That depends on your answer that is given in your textbook and follow as per the textbook answers. Let's try one more problem of this category. Now you have seen opposite sign. That gives you a hint. It belongs to what category of problem? Naturally, it belongs to tan inverse of a minus b upon 1 plus ab, this formula. So it is quite understood. Opposite sign comes, you need to apply that. You need 1. So where do you require 1? You require 1 in this place. So you require 1 in this place. If you require 1 in this place, what should I do? Divide numerator and denominator by whatever the term in place of 1, that is cos e raised to x. So if you divide numerator and denominator by cos e raised to x, naturally the function will change to 1 here. So your answer will become tan inverse, divide this by cos e raised to x, become 1 minus, divide this by cos inverse x, so tan e raised to x, divided by 1 plus tan e raised to x. So sine upon sine divided by cos is tan. So I've written directly, dividing numerator and denominator by cos e raised to x. Now you can apply the same formula. Tan inverse of first number, tan inverse of A. What is this formula? Tan inverse of A minus tan inverse of B. So tan inverse of A minus tan inverse of tan e raised to x. So that is tan inverse of 1 is a constant. If you feel like you write pi by 4. Tan inverse tan got cancelled. So e raised to x. So the derivative of this function would be 0 minus derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x only. So finally the answer is minus e raised to x. This is how you can simply do this function. Now we are dealing with functions where the inner function has root in it. For example, let's say cos inverse root 1 minus x squared. Such small form problem you can directly differentiate cos inverse cos inverse u derivative you can apply. That is, of course, you can do it. But just remember, if there are functions with a square root, how will you remove the square root? This is an option to you. You may directly differentiate or you may use this method. But if you need to know it, if I put as x as sine theta, if I put x as sine theta, this will become 1 minus sine square theta. This whole thing will become cos theta and square root gets removed. So, because why I'm putting x as sine theta? Because 1 minus sine square theta is cos square theta. So, suppose I had here cos inverse, I would have put x as sine theta. Suppose I had here sine inverse, I would prefer to have cos here. I prefer to have sine inside the whole bracket. Then in that case, I will put x as cos theta and I will apply 1 minus cos square theta is sine square theta. So that sine inverse sine will get cancelled. So this choice is yours, whether to take sine or cos, you will come to the same answer. If it is x square minus 1, you must put x as sec theta. Reason behind it is sec square theta minus tan square theta is 1. So sec square theta can be replaced by, sec square theta minus 1 can be replaced by tan square theta. Same way you can replace cosec also here. In this problem, you can put x as tan theta because 1 plus tan square theta is sec square theta. So every time your aim is to get the square root removed. In this case, you need to put x as cos theta because here it is very interesting. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sine square theta by 2 and 1 plus cos theta is 2 cos square theta by 2. When you divide, this 2 will go away. So when you divide, 2 will go away and this will change to tan square theta by 2 and hence your square root can be removed. So you are doing this substitution for the purpose of removing the square root. So for example, they will give you, especially this problem, it's a very interesting problem. If you are given tan inverse of root 1 minus x upon 1 plus x, immediately remember, you need to put x as cos theta. So this will get tan inverse of tan theta by 2. So this will get tan inverse of tan theta by 2. How theta by 2? The square root and square went away. And this will turn to theta by 2. And theta is nothing but cos inverse x. Theta is nothing but cos inverse x. Theta is nothing but cos inverse x. So now derivative is very simple. So 1 by 2 into minus 1 upon root 1 minus x square. So that will be the derivative. We are not supposed to write equal to, so I'll write dy by dx equal to. So I'll put here y. So dy by dx equal to 1 by 2 into minus 1 upon root 1 minus x square. Why I cannot write directly? Because function and derivative cannot be equal. So if I should have y here and you should have dy by dx here. So always you remember, whenever you are given root of 1 minus x upon 1 plus x, replace x by cos theta. You can easily simplify them and get the derivative. Let's have a look at this. Cos inverse you have here. You can note this. It's very easy to understand what it will be. You can take one of them as cos A and other as cos B. Why cos A, cos B? Because cos inverse just come. Cos A, cos B. When if you replace A by cos A here, this will become root of 1 minus cos square A. And x is cos B, so root of 1 minus cos square B. So what you get here is cos inverse of cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So you are going to come to the formula of cos. So you will be able to write this as cos inverse of cos of a plus b. Cos inverse and cos will get cancelled. It is a plus b. And what does a stands for? A stands for what is our substitution? A is cos a and x is cos b. So what is a stands for? Cos inverse of a. What does b stands for? Cos inverse of x. So when you differentiate derivative, what will happen? There's no x in it, it becomes 0, and derivative cos inverse x is minus 1 upon root of 1 minus x square. I hope you have noticed that cos a cos b minus sign will give you plus, and plus sign here will give you minus. In cos it is reverse formula. So it's an interesting problem. You need to identify. Looking at this, you come to know cos a cos b minus sin a sin b formula can be applied or not. So from there you identify it. Okay, let's have a look at this problem. This is sine inverse of, I am taking x common, 1 minus a common, 1 minus x. That becomes sine inverse of root x into root of 1 minus a, root a into root of 1 minus x. Outside is sine inverse. I want what here? I require sine a here. I require sine a here. I require cos a, cos b here. It is x, small letter a, so the angle I changed. What I require here, naturally I require the remaining part as sine a cos b minus cos a sin b. In this format, I am trying to bring it. So if I want to bring it in this format, first what should be my substitution? I need to put root x as sin a. So naturally, x will be sin square a. Also, a can be replaced by sin inverse root x. I want cos b to come here. So I will replace root a by cos a. I'll replace root a by cos a. So naturally, a can be replaced by cos square a. And further, I can say a is, not a, I'll use some other letter. I'll use b here. So I can say b is cos inverse root a. So if you do this manner, you can write this as sine inverse sine a into root of 1 minus a stands for cos square b. So I'll get sine a sine b. No, I will have to change this. I will write this as sine b. I will write this as sine b. Then only I'll get a proper answer. So sine square b. So it becomes sine inverse root a. So I have to every time check whether am I coming to the correct answer, because my intention was sine a cos b. This should become cos b. If this to become cos b, I should have sine a as sine square b. Minus root a is sine b into root of 1 minus x is sine square a. Now I will get perfectly answer. So my answer became now sine inverse sine a cos b minus sine b into cos a. That is sine inverse of sine of a minus b. Now we are in a position to cancel. So we get a minus b. What does a stands for? A stands for sine inverse root x. Sine inverse root x. And b stands for sine inverse root a. Now this is a function y. Now our step is to find the derivative. Derivative sine inverse root x and derivative sine inverse root a. What is derivative sine inverse root a? This will become 0 because there is no x in it. What will be derivative sine inverse root x? We'll have to apply the formula. So I can write this as y is equal to sine inverse root x minus sine inverse root a. Differentiating with respect to x, variable is x, is derivative of sine inverse root x minus derivative of sine inverse root a. Remember, variable is x, but a is a constant. So this is a constant. So my answer will be 1 upon root of 1 minus root x the whole square into dy dx of root x. And here the derivative would be 0. So finally my answer becomes 1 by root of 1 minus x into 1 by 2 root x. This will be my answer. So this is how we can simplify this function. So every time looking at the outside function, outer function, you need to decide what should be inner function and which formula to be applied. That is the technique of this exercise. So by the time you complete the exercise through my PDF, all the questions of PDF by the time you complete, you will learn how to differentiate. Also, you will learn how to apply trigonometric formulae and how to apply inverse trigonometric formulae. Every MHCT exam, every JE exam, every examination has this particular exercise. That's why I made it into 3 parts and given this particular chapter exercise.